Welcome to this exclusive preview of Stocks to Watch, where we're gearing up for the upcoming Commodities Global Expo, taking place from October 20th to 22nd in partnership with John Fennick Consulting of Top Shelf Partners. I'm Ashley Berry, and today we're giving you a sneak peek into one of the companies you'll be hearing from at the event, Collective Mining, listed both on the NYSE and the TSX as CNL, CEO Ari Sussman. Now, Collective Mining is making impressive strides in the mineral exploration space, particularly in Colombia, where they're developing large-scale gold and copper deposits. Very exciting. We'll be discussing their latest exploration success, strategic milestones, and really what sets them apart in this very competitive industry. Ari, welcome to the show.
I'm very happy to be here and looking forward to the conversation.
Yes, likewise. So let's start with perhaps you briefly introducing your company, its mission, for those who may be unfamiliar with it.
Absolutely. So Collective Mining was really born as a baby of COVID in 2020 on the back of a sale of our prior company, which was named Continental Gold. For those not familiar with Continental Gold, also in Colombia, and we ended up selling that company after building a mine for about $2 billion to Zijin Mining, which is, I believe, the largest Chinese mining conglomerate today. We had some amazing ideas. You mentioned copper and gold. And so we said, let's go out and let's explore for copper and gold in Colombian areas that we think are prospective. So some background: for a decade, we financed a small team of geologists in Colombia whose sole mission was to identify opportunities that could produce large-scale systems. And so that's how Collective was born. We flash forward from 2020, which is when the company was born, went public in 21. Here we are in 2024. We have about a $250 million market cap. We trade, in Canada and New York, as you mentioned, and we are on to a very big mineral system. I will say, though, it is at present more gold focused than copper, although we do have gold dominant, we have silver, we have copper, and oddly enough, we have tungsten.
Oh, tungsten, fantastic. And I would say, Ari, it sounds like this baby's growing up fast. You've had some exciting results in Colombia. Can you share more about your recent exploration successes and the unique opportunities that region specifically offers?
Well, let's take the country first, okay? If we're going to find minerals to feed the ferocious appetite of the world, especially in the energy transition, you need to go to countries or places in the world that are underexplored. Colombia is one of those, okay? It's a fantastic country. This is the oldest democracy in South America. And believe it or not, it's the only country in South America that's never had a coup or a dictator running it. So it's always been a strong rule of law, excellent place to explore. Because of its past problems. You know this. I mean, you probably watch Narcos. I mean, everyone watched these shows. Colombia had a problem with drugs and security for a long time, but that's changed drastically. And now we have this amazing country that's part of the same Andean mountain chain that Chile, Peru, and these mineral-rich countries are providing output from. And yet the exploration hasn't happened. So here we are. Our project that we're focused on is called Guayabalis. Why do we like this? We're sitting next to a mine that's been in production for more than 500 years. It's the second longest continuously producing mine in the Americas. And only because it's Colombia, nobody thought, hey, what could be around that existing old mine? So we picked up this portfolio. Our Guayabalis project is the center of it. And lo and behold, we've made multiple discoveries. Okay, so it's very hard to make a discovery in mining, and we've actually made more than one on this property. We virtually hit anytime we drill in first pass drilling. And I'd like to sit here and say to you, I have the greatest team in the world and we're the smartest people in this business, but that's just not the case. The reality is that there's so much metal endowed in the rocks here, and we were just fortunate enough to identify it, find it. So our flagship discovery, so within the Guayabalis project, is named Apollo. It's a high-grade gold, silver, copper, tungsten porphyry, major discovery. We don't have a resource estimate yet, but it is many millions of ounces gold equivalent and growing. And we've this year announced what we believe is our second major discovery, which is called the Trap Zone. Okay, that's a gold-silver zone about 2 miles away from Apollo, all part of the same geological cluster. And all this is sitting next to this giant mine. So I think what I'm trying to get to, the point is, I believe if we look forward a decade, maybe two, this area is going to evolve into a big camp where we're going to have multiple mines pulling a lot of metal out of the ground. And we're just fortunate enough to recognize that opportunity early and go and drill it.
Yeah, listen, I love the excitement, the enthusiasm. It sounds like a tremendous opportunity for scalability. Also, with these several promising projects you speak of, what really are the critical milestones investors should look out for in the next year? And how do you plan to advance those initiatives?
So drill, baby, drill. Okay, we're going to drill, and we're drilling and drilling. We have 5 rigs. We likely have a 6th rig shortly, 40,000 meters or approximately 120,000 feet of drilling this year. We're looking to go larger than that next year. And our goal is complicated to get to, but it's really a simple goal. The corporate goal is, let's outline a system that has 10 or more million gold equivalent ounces. I'm confident we're well on our way. But equally important, a series of systems that will ultimately be able to produce at 400,000 ounces of gold equivalent ounces per annum or more, right? Velocity of how you pull, and like any business, the velocity of production is equally as important as the size. And so if we reach those goals, which is our goal, we don't want to build a mine this time. We've been there and done that. This time we're going to sell to a much larger company. And the reason we want to hit those goals is we want to get as high a price as possible, as large a bit as possible. And those 2 thresholds put us into the camp of the largest mining companies in the world. That's what would interest them. So we're on our way, we're advancing quickly, and I think we're going to get there in pretty quick time.
Fantastic. I'd like to touch on sustainability. Of course, it's increasingly important right now. How would you say Collective Mining ensures responsible mining practices while still maintaining that growth you talk about?
I'm glad you used the word sustainability, because I've blackballed the ESG word out of the company, okay? Because I've been in Colombia since 2007, okay? And so Colombia is a country with about 50 million people and not an enormous landmass. So if you're going to find a mine, you are going to have communities around, and you need to make the business sustainable. We named the company Collective Mining, not because we thought it sounded good, but because that is our approach. We have a collective approach to mining where we work with governments and communities to advance simultaneously, so everyone wins and loses, for that matter, together. Some unique things that we do in our community. We are the first mining company ever to gain a strategic alliance with the Colombian Coffee Federation. Colombia, coffee, okay? We're in the coffee quadrangle of Colombia. Of interest, if you have an espresso machine, the puck that says Colombia that you insert into the machine, that comes from about 20 miles away from our project where they produce that. The area we're in is notorious for having the best organic coffee beans on the planet. So, being sustainable with coffee is key for us. And why this alliance is so good for the communities is, yes, we do all the bells and whistles that a lot of programs do. Okay. But it's going hand in hand with coffee, saying agriculture and mining are not competitors. They coexist well together, and let's build this business together. That is really our approach. It's an inclusive approach, and last thing I'll add, it's one based on dialogue. We have monthly dialogue platforms in the communities. We don't lead them. We bring in third parties. So we fund them to start, and then we bring in other businesses in the region. So everyone's co-funding, and it's a platform to allow anybody to come and complain and say whatever they would like to say, or praise for that matter, but also align the communities in a common goal. And we've created a goal of energy transition, right? For this area, we will be a part of it. Okay. We're not going to do the energy transition, but we have copper, we have silver, we have tungsten. Right? These are energy transition minerals. And so we will contribute to this. And that has been our approach to sustainability. It's a scalable model that works for a $1 million valued company, and also can scale financially up to a super major like a Newmont or a Barrick or a BHP. So we've had good success with that, and hope to continue.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. And I have to imagine that these partnerships are paramount to success. And I truly don't believe that there's anyone that loves coffee more than I do. So I feel like I need to go down there, see this mine, see these partnerships. I mean, it's so impressive, Ari. For investors looking to, they may be on the fence, they're not really sure. I mean, your story is so compelling. What would you say?
I would say this. There aren't many companies drilling a scale project like this one with attractive grades in the world, in a jurisdiction that wants mining. Let me say one last thing. I get told, oh, Colombia, it's a risky country, right? Well, how do you evaluate risk? Because this government, all governments actually, by law, to get a mining permit, when you apply for an environmental license, the law says you're going to get your answer, yes or no, in 10 months. So how does that compare to where you and I live in the United States, where it now is estimated to take 19 years to get a permit? So this is a fast-moving country. 7 permits have been issued in the past 2 years in this country for mining. It's an excellent place to be. I would get involved, and if you want something big that we believe is going to sell ultimately, because that is our goal, we're an excellent choice for investment.
Well, I must say that you are a terrific ambassador for the company, and this is just one of the many compelling stories you'll encounter at Top Shelf Partners Commodities Global Expo, where top companies and industry leaders come together to showcase their innovations and discuss the future of mining and commodities. Ari Sussman, CEO of Collective Mining, again, trading on the New York Stock Exchange as CNL. Stay tuned as we continue to highlight other key companies and leaders you'll be meeting at the Expo.